Hello, and thank you for joining us for a very special episode of PC Talk. Today we are in Piedmont College's Black Box Theater discussing the Piedmont College production of Still Life with Iris. Today with us we have two of the show's actors, Marion Mealer, who plays Iris, and Caitlin Fisher, who plays Annabelle Lee. So, Marion, would you like to tell us about the show?
Sure. Still Life with Iris is about a little girl named Iris, and she lives in this world called Nocturno. And basically, Nocturno is a land where everything you see in the world by day, it's made there at night. So the ladybugs, the lightning, the thunder, it's all made there. And so you get to meet some really interesting characters there. But without giving too much away, Iris gets taken on this adventure where she kind of has to search for her past and find out who she is. She gets to visit Great Island, where she meets even more interesting characters, and just all in all finds her way back home. And it's a really cute little show.
All right, fantastic. Now, you can maybe viewers at home can see a little bit of the set, but it's very fantastic. You know, we've got platforms and such, and we also have screens which have projections on it. Can you tell us like what it all kind of takes working with that stuff and how to put it together?
It definitely takes a very unified cast and crew. We usually have a Q to Q, which is a day where we really just go through the show and we analyze what lines signal different things, and so, but listening to what they have to do, they really have to listen to the stage manager, know when their cue is, and go together, because if they don't, it kind of messes up what happens out here. But it's also on the cast, because some of our moves will signal it, so we have to be strong and apparent and be on time, so the stage manager knows when to do all that cool stuff.
But even before we hit Q to Q, there's so much work that goes into a show. Like, before the actors are even handed a script, there's hours put in by the director, the designers, that made the set come to life, made the actors have the vision that we have. Everything that you'll see on the set took hours of work, and someone was designing it, someone was painting it, all the way to the costume shop where they have to go shopping and they have to do fittings, and then the box office workers where they're selling tickets, and then you have the marketing team who's putting out advertisement. So it's definitely, it takes a lot of people and a lot of work, but that's one of the great things about putting on a show is you get to be a part of that.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I have heard Professor John Spiegel talking about the show, and he describes it as a theater for youth piece, which is also good for the whole family. So of course, you know, with theater for youth, you kind of know what that entails, but what can older audiences expect from seeing Still Life with Iris?
I love Still Life with Iris, and it's not even me being part of it. The first time I read it, before auditions even happened, it's such a great show with such a great message. And yes, it is a kid's show, but there's some deep meanings to it, and you can get a lot out of it. And I think older audience will really appreciate that.
I think definitely with older audiences, the interaction we do with them can also really kind of hit their childhood aspects. There's a lot of moments in the show where we kind of rely on them for interaction to move the show along, and I think it really helps them dive in and understand the world that we're trying to portray to them. So.
All right. So, Caitlin, we heard Marion talk a little bit about her character. Can you tell us more about your character, Annabelle Lee?
I am Annabelle Lee. My character is based off the poem by Edgar Allan Poe. Not to give too much away, I am not part of Nocturno. I'm kind of one of those characters that is brought along through Iris's journey. And Iris kind of helps free me from my problem, and we kind of just become friends by the end of the show. And there's another character, Mozart, who is one of our friends, and we kind of just help each other through the journey of the play.
Well, fantastic. Now, we're about out of time, but if you could, you know, in a quick splurge of words, each tell us your proudest moment from in the show.
I think my proudest moment from in the show is just conquering all of the technical elements that have been kind of difficult too. I haven't conquered all of them yet, which is kind of scary because we have an audience tonight. But there's a lot of that's gone on with props and tech, and it's just every time you get one right, it's like, yes.
All right.
Yeah, I think mine would be really conquering this character. This character was a bit different than what I've done in the past, and it was hard not being a kid, because I'm one of the ones where I don't have to portray a kid, and kind of really understanding the costume and understanding who my character is related to the poem was my biggest accomplishment for sure.
All right, well, fantastic. So there you have it, Piedmont Lions. If you can, come join us for Piedmont College's production of Still Life with Iris, April 6th through the 9th, and have a fantastic day.